Okay, so on this one, I'm going to show you how to do the lazy daisy stitch. When it's finished, it can look like these flowers or these stems of leaves here. So the way you can tell the difference, but to know which stitch is the lazy daisy, is the flowers are always going to have curves on them. So these two flowers would use the lazy daisy stitch, whereas these are straight, so it uses a different type of stitch. So if there's curves in any of these petals or those flower petals, it's lazy daisy. So first I'm going to start with this one. And I decided for this example, I'm going to show you how to make the stem green, and we'll do those 3 petals pink. To create the stem, you'll just do the back stitch, which is just a basic up and down along those stitch lines. So now we have to create these petals, and to do that, you'll need to come up through one of the bottom holes of the petal. You'll want to create a loop with your embroidery floss by going back down the same hole. And then you'll need to come up this hole from the bottom and go through this loop with your needle, and then you pull that tight. And then you need to take your needle and go back down that top hole. And it creates a little petal. And then you'll just repeat the process for the other petals. Then when you're done, you can adjust how the petals are laying with your needle and then tie the thread off in the back so it doesn't come undone. This last flower, you'll start by coming up through the center hole from the bottom, and you'll make a loop. And then you come up one of the top holes of the petal and go back down that same hole to hold your loop in place. Again, come up through the center. And it helps if you kind of hold the thread away with your finger in the back so you can come up through the open space without your needle passing through any of the existing embroidery floss. Create the loop. You'll come up through one of the top holes of the petal. Adjust your loop of that flower, adjust the loop of that petal, and then go back down the top hole. And right here I'm showing you how if you pull the thread over with your index finger on the bottom, it creates an open space in that center hole that you can fit your needle through. That's just helpful so you're not accidentally pulling some of the single strands of that 6-strand embroidery floss up as you're trying to create those petals. If your needle goes through the embroidery floss, sometimes it can create a little bit of a mess. And again, just create another loop, go back down that center hole that you came up from to create the loop. And then bring your needle up through the top and back down the same hole. Then tie it off in the back and trim your thread.